Hi, this is Jeff Keamy, and today we're going to learn about what's in your toolkit that you've received. So one of the first things you're going to see is the bag and the computer that you've received. And I'm going to log into a resource, our resource portal here. I'm going to go down to Tools and Equipment, and I'm going to click on that. It's going to show some of the things that are in your bag. One of those things is a spectrum analyzer. That's going to be something you can connect to your computer or your phone, depending on the model that you've received or requested. And that'll allow you to walk around a property and kind of see the noise environment, how things are currently there prior to an installation. And it's very helpful after and during an installation to see the different types of noise that are in your environment. It helps you select the channels for your access points properly. It helps you create a heat map too, so you can actually walk and get a nice digital map of your coverage area. Another thing in your toolbox that you should have is the Outdoor Tough Cable Pro. This is a product from Ubiquiti. It's an outdoor rated cable. It's something that is developed to withstand the most unforgiving weather situations. And what's great about this is it actually has an ESD drain wire, which discharges static electricity from your equipment. So there's no failure in that when spikes come to the equipment. We found it very successful in areas and situations where we've had access points go down over and over again. We utilize this wire connected to the drain wire with the proper shielded connectors, and everything is good. These connectors are pictured right here, and these are what you pair with the Outdoor Tough cable. And you'll use a ratcheting crimper to make those connections. And this is an example of the ratcheting crimper that may be in your set. You'll also have some regular RJ45 connectors. These are not shielded and do not have the ESD drain wire. These are things that you'll use in standard installations where everything's indoor and there's no need for the robust outdoor cable. So you won't use outdoor cable with these connectors. You also have zip ties in there. You'll see that zip ties are a very, very important part of the industry. Lots of things get zip tied. It's a great way to secure wires and access points in a variety of applications. It is something you'll use a lot, and you'll go through a lot of them, believe me. Anchors and screws, kind of standard. Tape measure, standard. You're going to need a nice, good drill. That'll be in your toolkit. It's going to help you drill through walls. It's going to help you mount equipment. You'll have your tool carrier case. This is going to have all your stuff in it, and it is meant to be taken around everywhere and have everything kind of pick up and go, and you've got everything that you need in that bag in order to help diagnose and repair or install networks. You have your toner and voltage tester. Toner is a device that you can connect to on one end, one part of the device, and you'll use a wand on the other part of the device, and it'll help you find cables when you come across like maybe just a web of cables, and you're looking for one particular cable, or you're trying to organize things. So you tone one cable out, find it, organize it, tone the next one, find it, organize it, label it. These are things that I do often. You also have a cable tester. Oh, let's go back to the toner and voltage tester. So the voltage tester will also be there for testing voltage of a particular Cat 5 line. So if you're injecting the cable with 24 volts, you want to make sure you're actually getting 24 volts on the other side. Depending on the length of your run, voltage will decrease. So you want to make sure you're powering your access points properly. Those are some of those issues where you just can't figure it out. You don't know what's going on. So you pull out your voltage tester, test it, realize, hey, I'm only getting 18 volts when I needed 24. Something's wrong. You have to rethink your strategy, figure out why this happened, and figure out what you need to do to repair that. So it's a handy tool and helps you figure out those things that most people would have no idea about. Cable tester, very, very important. This cable tester that comes with your package will not only test to make sure all the pairs are crimped properly and everything's working properly on your cable, it'll estimate the length of that cable, and I found it to be fairly accurate. That helps with billing purposes. If you're billing for the exact amount of wire, you can test a wire, check the length. It'll give you the approximate foot or meters on that length. Then you can bill appropriately. I found this to be a very, very useful tool. Fish tape, it's a great way to get wires into places that are more difficult. If you're going through a wall, you might use your fish tape to poke through and grab that line and pull it through. Very handy tool. Electrical tape. This is going to be a handy tool also in a lot of circumstances. Instead of using zip ties, you may use electrical tape to fasten things. It's a nice clean way to fasten cables and organize wiring, and it's not as permanent as a zip tie, which needs to be cut and removed, where this can just be peeled off. It's a little bit easier to utilize, and I've started using this method a lot more than the zip ties in a lot of installations. You'll have a drilling and driving kit. This is going to help you make holes and screw in your screws. You're going to have a hammer, low voltage staple gun. This is a special staple gun that's utilized for Cat 5. So when you actually staple it, it has a groove, kind of like this masonry staple here that's on the screen. It'll have a nice little groove to accommodate the Cat 5 line. Last thing you want to do is use a regular staple gun and pinch that Cat 5 line down. You really want to treat your Cat 5 like it's glass. You want to make sure it's run properly, treated carefully, and properly stapled or tacked up properly in all your applications. One of the things that you'll always want to be careful about when you're using your low voltage staple gun is to ensure that you're stapling properly. If you're at an angle and it's harder to staple, you'll want to be very careful because there's a chance that that staple will backfire on you and actually pierce your line. That's the last thing you want to do when you have, a 200-foot run. You're at the last bit of it. Staple gun hits you wrong, and the cable gets nicked, and suddenly you have a cable that you can't trust anymore. You have a metal bit, 24-inch, both for metal and masonry, and for wood. You have masonry staples. You'll utilize those quite a bit, and of course your ClearWave computer, which will house most of your software that you're going to use to set up and diagnose problems on the network. One thing that's not listed here is a label maker. This is one thing that we've added to the kit, and we will continue to add more things to the kit as we find necessary, but this is a good base to start with. The kit will also include an access point, so that way you can provision your first access point on your first network, start testing things out. It's going to be one of these access points. And that's it for what's in your toolkit. Thanks.